Hi everyone! Have you ever wanted to plant indoors but don't have enough space or want to mess with dirt? Well, this is the perfect solution for you. This is hydroponics. Hydroponics is a system of planting with using only water and nutrients and no dirt. It's the best way to have fresh herbs and vegetables inside your house. All you need is a dollar store container, a fish pump with a bubble stone, some net cups and net sponges, and a hole saw. I'm going to show you how to make your very own hydroponic system from home. First, I laid out my net cups in an order that I wanted so I could see how many I could fit. When doing this, you want to remember how big of plants you're going to use. If you're going to just plant basil, you can put them closer together. But if you want a bigger plant, like a tomato, you're going to want to spread them further apart. After you mark where all of your net cups are going to go, you're going to use your hole saw to drill in the holes. When you pick out your hole saw size, you want it to be big enough that your net cup fits in the hole, but not too big that it falls through. Here you can see all my net cups fit perfectly in these holes. They're not falling through, but they're also not sticking out. One of my favorite tricks with using hydroponics is planting lettuce. One of my favorite things to do is plant about 3 seeds once a week for about a month, and by the end of the month, you'll have 3 heads of lettuce ready for harvest. Then every week after, you'll have 3 new heads of lettuce ready for harvest, and you can repeat this cycle. This ensures that you won't have too many heads of lettuce ready for harvest that you just won't get eaten. And it also helps that you'll have the space with big heads of lettuce right next to little baby seeds. You might know a plant needs 4 things to grow: sunlight, water, nutrients, and oxygen. We're going to use this AeroGarden plant food nutrients as our nutrients to grow these plants. For our oxygen, I'm going to put this fish tank pump with a bubble stone on the end into my container. Here I'm drilling a hole. You're going to want this hole to be fairly high up on your container. I should have done mine a little bit further so that water doesn't leak out of the hole. And then I'm going to thread this cord through. I'm also going to paint my container black because it's clear so that the water in the basin does not develop any algae. Here you can see I just finished painting the container black. If your container is already opaque or black, then you do not need to do this step. However, if your container is clear, you're going to want to paint it black or another opaque color. Now that we have 3 of the 4 things needed to grow a plant, oxygen, nutrients, and water, we need to figure out sunlight. You have 2 options here. You can either put your hydroponics growing system in a window that will get plenty of sunlight, or you can do what I do and use a grow light. You're going to want to make sure your grow light is full spectrum so that it can grow your plant from a little seedling all the way up into a big tomato plant. Here you can see I'm filling the basin with water. You're going to want to make sure you don't fill it too far above where you have your hole for your fish tubing so it doesn't leak. And I'm going to put the lid back on and plant all my seeds. Here I'm using a mixed variety pack of lettuce. You're going to want to read on the instructions of your seeds to see how many seeds you should put in each hydroponic net cup. I'm doing 2 to 3 for this packet. Here you can see I'm putting my seeds underneath the light so that they can start growing. You're going to want to make sure you keep track of how much water is in your basin so you can refill it when needed. You're also going to want to look at the instructions on your nutrients to see how much nutrients you have to put per gallon of water in your basin. Just remember, nutrients is really important because the plants would have been getting nutrients from the soil, but since you're growing them in water, you need to replace that. Here you can see my light is fairly close to my seeds. If you have the capacity to be able to have your light move up and down, I recommend having it start as close to the seeds as possible, and then as the plants get bigger, you can move it up. You never want your plants to be able to touch your light or else they could fry. Here I'm showing you that my bubble pump is working and I have it plugged in and right outside the container. You want to make sure that you don't get the pump itself wet or else it could short circuit and fry. I also have put my light on a timer. I have it turn on at 8 a.m. and turn off at 10 p.m. I do this so I can mimic sunlight. You will not want to have your light turned on 24/7. Seedlings grow best in a greenhouse-like environment. To do this, I'm going to mimic it by putting a clear plastic dome on top of my container. If you don't have a clear plastic dome, you could use little cups or even saran wrap. You're going to want to make sure that it's not sealed off so that oxygen can still get and reach the tops of the plants. Here you can see the little dome I've used. I also cut out a hole in the paint so I can see the water level and make sure the bubble stone is still working. When these plants grow, I can do an updated video. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see or have any questions. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.